The Smart School Class 6 Science Video Lesson 3. We shall continue chapter number 1, that is Science Skills. Today our topics are making difficult measurements, handling data, doing a scientific investigation. We shall be studying from page number 7 to page number 15. During the lesson, you will require Science Fact File 1 textbook, your notebook, pencils, and for doing a scientific investigation, we shall require stopwatch, beaker, thermometer, sugar, and water. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to perform calculation based on observations, present the result of an investigation in an appropriate way, determine the results of a scientific investigation by using tables, bar charts, line graphs, and pie charts, and carry out a scientific investigation and prepare a report of the results. We shall do a recap of what we have studied in the previous lesson. Can you tell which of the following instrument is used to measure the mass of a body? Is it the stopwatch, or the measuring tape, or the weighing scale? The correct answer is the weighing scale is used to measure the mass of a body. You can see some words and symbols given on the screen over here. Can you tell the right place of these words and symbols in the table shown below? The correct answers are length has a unit meter and its unit symbol is m. Mass unit is kilograms and the unit symbol is kg. For volume, the unit is cubic meters and the unit symbol is m cube. For time, unit is seconds and the unit symbol is s. For temperature, the unit is degree Celsius and the unit symbol is this sign of degree with capital C. Measuring large and small quantities. What do you see in this picture? It's a brick that is being weighed with the help of this weighing balance. The mass of the brick is observed to be 4 kilograms. Consider a collection of these bricks making up a wall. If 500 such bricks are joined together, what will be their combined mass? It will be calculated by multiplying 500 with 4, which is the mass of one brick. So the total mass of 500 such bricks will be 2000 kgs. How do you find the mass of a single rice grain? A rice grain is a very small object which is difficult to be measured with the help of a weighing balance. So what do is that we weigh 100 rice grains and then divide their mass by 100, just as shown in this picture. The mass of 100 rice grains is 20 grams. That means the mass of one rice grain will be equal to 20 divided by 100 grams, which is calculated to be 0.2 grams. As rice grains are of different sizes, some can be a bit larger than the others, so we will consider this value as the average mass of one rice grain. How do you find the volume of an irregular shaped object? We do so with the help of the measuring cylinder. We put water into the measuring cylinder up to a point, which in this case is 50 cubic centimeters. Then we put the irregular shaped object carefully into the water. You can see that the level of water has increased after putting the object. First it was 50 cubic centimeters, now it is 75 cubic centimeters. So the volume of water was observed as 50 cubic centimeters. The combined volume of water and the object is 75 cubic centimeters. That means the volume of the object, that is here, will be 75 cubic centimeter minus 50 cubic centimeters. Subtracting the numbers, we get 25 cubic centimeters as the volume of this irregular shaped object. You can see a simple pendulum swinging from one side to another. How do you time one swing of a pendulum accurately? Remember, one swing is when the pendulum starts moving from one end, goes to the other, and then comes back to its original position. The simple way of calculating the time interval for one swing is to time 10 swings and then divide the result by 10. You can use a stopwatch to measure the time for 10 swings. Let's say it is 15 seconds. So the time for one swing will be 15 divided by 10 seconds, that is 1.5 seconds. A quick quiz based on what we have learned so far in this lesson. Place two fingers on your wrist as shown in the picture or on your neck and find your pulse. Now, with the help of a stopwatch, count your pulse for 20 seconds. The number you got is to be kept in your mind for the next question, which is, what will be your pulse rate per minute? A hint for you is to multiply the pulse count for 20 seconds that you got here by 3 to get your answer. Our next topic is handling data. But we need to know first what is meant by the term data. Scientific information obtained from the results of experiments is termed as data. That means it's an important thing and it needs to be presented in a proper way. To do that, we use tables, bar charts, line graphs, and pie charts. For example, this is a table in which we have recorded the heights of 5 different buildings of the world. Here it is Burj Khalifa, which is 828 meters high. Shanghai Tower, which is 632 meters high. Empire State Building, 381 meters high. Eiffel Tower as 300 meters high. And Minar-e-Pakistan as 70 meters high. This is how we can easily see the height of these 5 buildings. This is a bar chart which shows us the results of a survey that was used to find the favorite fruit of different people. Or in the form of line graphs where the temperature difference between different days of the week is shown. Here the data is presented in the form of a pie chart where the grades of the students are compared. Tables are a good way to record our scientific data. Here you can see the nighttime temperature at 11 p.m. and the daytime temperature at 11 a.m. on 7 days of a week. This table shows how at a particular time temperature changes on different days. It also gives us the amount of cloud at the same time on different days of a week. What is the highest temperature? The highest temperature at 11 p.m. or at 11 a.m. during the whole week is recorded as 18 degrees Celsius on day 3. When was the temperature lowest? Can you tell? Yes, the temperature was lowest on day 3, that was -1 degree Celsius at 11 p.m. How is amount of cloud related to nighttime temperature? In the second row, you can see at different days the formation of clouds at 11 p.m. Do you see a pattern? At higher temperatures, that is at 5 degree and 6 degree and 7 degrees, the amount of cloud formation is more than at lower temperatures -1 and 0. At 0 it is less, at -1 there is no cloud formation, but at 5, 6 and 7 degrees Celsius the amount of cloud formation is high. So we can say that amount of cloud increased at higher temperatures at night. The following bar chart shows the heights of a group of students. Can you tell what is the smallest height? According to this bar chart, the minimum height is 1.30 meters and the maximum is 2.00 meters. So we can say that the smallest height is 1.30 meters. What is the most common height? The most common height is 1.6 to 1.69 meters because the highest number of students, that is 6, have the height between 1.6 to 1.69 meters. How many students have a height of 1.6 meters or more? So from here to here, these are the number of students that have height 1.6 or more than 1.6 meters. So if we want to calculate 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1, total 15 students have a height of 1.60 meters or more. This is a line graph that shows the temperature of a teacup and how it changes over the course of 10 minutes. Can you tell what was the temperature of the tea at the start? At the start, time is taken as 0, and at this point, the temperature of the tea is 100 degrees Celsius. How long did it take for the temperature of the tea to fall to 40 degrees Celsius? See, this is where it falls to 40 degrees Celsius. If we trace it down, it gives us the value 2. That means it takes 2 minutes for the temperature to fall down to 40 degrees Celsius. What was the temperature of the room where this experiment was carried out? See, the temperature is constantly being transferred from the teacup to the room because the temperature of tea is more than the temperature of the room. When the temperature of the tea will be equal to the temperature of the room, there will be no more transfer of heat and there will be no more decrease in the temperature of the tea. And that happens at 20 degrees Celsius. After that, the temperature of tea does not fall. It means that the temperature of the room is also 20 degrees Celsius. This is a pie chart that shows the favorite season of the year within a group of students. As you can see, 28% like autumn, 36% like spring, 26% like summer, and 10% have winter as their favorite season. What is the most popular season among these students? You need to look at these percentages and tell the answer of this question. As you can see, this portion has the largest area in this pie chart. That means spring is the most popular season among this group of students. Now, what proportion of students chose summer as their favorite season? Here you see 26%. 26% students chose summer as their favorite season. Suppose this group consists of 100 students. How many would pick autumn or fall as their favorite season? You need to look at the pie chart and tell the answer of this question. 28% means 28 out of 100. So we can say that 28 students pick autumn as their favorite season. Time for a quick quiz based on different forms of data handling that we have studied so far. This table shows the hand span of some students. Can you tell what is the smallest hand span from this? The smallest hand span is 12 centimeters. Can you tell how this data will be represented in the form of a bar chart? This bar chart shows the comparison of hand span of students based on the data provided in the table. The blue bars represent the hand span of students, and the orange bars, they represent the number of students that have that particular hand span. So we can see that only one student has a hand span of 12 centimeters and 4 students have a hand span of 15 centimeters. Similarly, 9 students have a hand span of 20 centimeters. Take a look at the data given in the table and tell what is the most common hand span. The most common hand span is 20 centimeters because the most number of students, 9, have hand span of 20 centimeters. Our next topic is doing a scientific investigation. Do you know the 3 main parts of a scientific investigation? They are preparation, then carrying out the investigation, and finally review and report of the investigation. The first step, that is preparation, involves observation and hypothesis. Suppose a person observes that sugar dissolves more quickly in tea as compared to a cold drink. So he makes a hypothesis that sugar dissolves more quickly in hot water than in cold water. Hypothesis is a statement that can be tested with the help of an experiment. So we need to do an experiment to test this hypothesis. What steps do you need to take to carry out this experiment? First, you need sugar, and to dissolve sugar, you need water. And how do we dissolve sugar in water? We do stirring. We put sugar into water and then we stir it with the help of a spoon or a rod. These 3 things are the variables for this experiment. That means you can change the value of sugar or water or the stirring to change the result of this experiment. To carry out the investigation, you need to measure things like the volume of a sugar that you can measure with the help of a spoon or the packets of sugar that you are using. You may need to find the volume of water that you are using. So a graduated beaker with the markings given over here can help you to find the exact volume of water that you are using. The water temperature can be measured with the help of thermometer by putting it into the beaker. Is it hot or cold water that can be determined with the help of a thermometer. This is a stopwatch that will help you to find the time taken for the sugar to dissolve in hot as well as cold water. Now you have to record your results. How will you record the results of your investigation? A table is a good way to record the data that is calculated after doing the experiment. So here we have it. At 20 degrees Celsius, the time taken by the water to dissolve sugar is 80 seconds. As the temperature increases, the time taken by the water to dissolve sugar decreases. So we can say that when the temperature of the water is increased, the time required for the sugar to dissolve in water decreases. Now we come to the reviewing and reporting part of our investigation. We need to see if our results follow a pattern. And if a pattern is there, we can plot a graph to present it in a more meaningful way. Here is a line graph of our data. The red line shows the time in seconds and the yellow line shows the temperature of water. You can see as the temperature of water increases from 20 to 30 and then eventually to 60, the time required by the sugar to dissolve, it decreases. At 20 it is 80, at 30 it is 52, at 40 it is 36. Finally at 60 degrees Celsius, the time required is only 20 seconds for the sugar to dissolve. Now we come to the conclusion of our investigation, which is to tell if our hypothesis was correct or not. The hypothesis was sugar dissolves more quickly in hot water than in cold water. Our graph suggests that as the temperature increases, the time required for sugar to dissolve, it goes down. So we can say that yes, our hypothesis was correct. An investigation should end with the suggestion for future experiments. So one of the future experiments can be to use brown sugar instead of white sugar and then to tell if this hypothesis is correct or not. A quick quiz based on what we have learned so far. What is a good way to record the results of an investigation? Is it to write the results in a paragraph, or write them in a table, or to memorize all the values? The correct answer is to write them in a table. Which of the following is the most accurate way to find the time period of a simple pendulum? To time one swing, or to time 5 swings and divide by 5, to time 10 swings and divide by 10, or to time 2 swings and divide by 2? The correct answer is time 10 swings and divide by 10. Remember, the more swings we involve, the more accurate our result would be. On the screen you can see a picture that shows a pie chart of the favorite fruit of a group of students. You need to find that what fruit did the students like the most. Was it the apple, or the orange, or banana? The correct answer is banana, because it is liked by the most percentage of students, that is 30%. Now we shall summarize what we have learned so far during the lesson. We measure mass, volume and time interval of large and small quantities and events with the help of observations and calculations. It is important to present the results of an investigation properly. It can be in the form of a table, a bar chart, a line graph, or a pie chart. During a scientific investigation, we form a hypothesis based on observation, tested through experiments to record and present its results. Your home task is to read pages 7 to 13 of the textbook. Attempt exercise questions 1 and 2 of the textbook given on page 14. As you can see, these are questions 1 and 2 on page 14 of the textbook. And you have to do these questions within the space provided on the textbook. Finally, you need to attempt workbook questions 5 to 9 given on page 4 and 5 of the workbook within the space provided on the workbook. This is page 4 and this is page 5. The questions that are given on these two pages are to be done on the workbook. Good luck.